It costs less money, man. It costs a lot of money to go out spraying, and nobody likes doing it.
We're using the safest materials that we can to make a clean crop.
A lot of it is preventative, watching models, making sure you know when you have an infection period coming, being really in tune with the weather, being really in tune with trapping and what's on your property and what is going to be a problem, and really making sure that you're spraying for your specific issues.
It's crazy to think about. 50 years ago, there was no trapping of insects. A lot of times, orchard growers didn't even know what a plum curculio looked like, or apple maggots, you know. You're trying to control this insect. You didn't see them, but you knew you had to control it.
We have sticky spheres, which Dr. Prokopy developed at UMass, and that's been adopted nationwide as the standard.
It was just mind-blowing. The point is that we didn't have to spray most of the time that we've been spraying. We realized that we could accomplish the same goal, growing marketable fruit for the same audience without disrupting the environment as much or the ecology of our fields as much as we had been. But it's cheaper. We were doing a lot of hard work unnecessarily. That hooked a lot of growers really fast.
We need to integrate the stage of the crop, size of the fruit. We need to be gauging whether or not there's presence of the insects in the orchard already. We need to be looking at weather forecasts. We've learned over time to put all of those kinds of parameters together.
Once you have a problem, you can spray 10 times as much getting rid of that problem as you would having prevented that problem.
If you think of managing an orchard, you're looking at more of an ecological, holistic approach to how to manage an orchard so that it is in tune with nature. It's partnering with nature. And we realize through not only the data that we're collecting, but also recommendations from Extension at UMass say, yep, we're going to have to do something, and spraying would be something that's called for. So that decision-making process has to do more with the pest population and obviously the timing of the fruit.
This is one of the attracting kill trees. The basis of this tree is Cortland, but there are grafts all around it of other varieties. You can see this is Cortland. There's a graft right here, and there are 2 branches of Astrakhan, which is another one of the very attractive varieties. When we grafted here, everything beyond the point of the graft is genetically identical to the graft. So grafting is in effect cloning. You're putting 2 different varieties together. It completely changes the variety. All the characteristics of the stock stop.
We graft 4 to 6 different varieties of apples that there has been anecdotal evidence are more attractive to insects before the main crop in the orchard is attracted to insects. Part of the project was trying to identify which of these varieties is ultimately going to be the best variety to have as your trap tree out in the orchard. The trap trees are there so we can monitor and see when injury is occurring in the orchard, and we can figure out when the insects are active and when we can start applying insecticides to control those insects at the ideal time and not wasting time and money and spraying excessive insecticides in the orchard when the insects are not active.
Each insect has a lifespan when they're either going to be doing damage or not damage. So I think it's just using every tool at your disposal to make the right decision, and that you don't always make it right. You know, you do make mistakes sometimes, but hopefully you're at least being as smart as you possibly can.